Bit starstruck.
You love this. It makes me laugh every time I hear about like giants. Say, I used to be a giant. And I remember the first school I went to in New South Wales because no one liked AFL.
Yeah.
So we had to go out and try and get the name out there and all that. And this kid come up to me. He's like, I thought you meant to be the Giants. Why are you so small? He's like, and his mate's like, he's a midget.
It sounds like Western Sydney, eh?
Yeah.
Rugby fanatics, eh?
That's actually funny as. Do like my rugby too.
Yeah, NRL.
All right, welcome back to the Steezy podcast, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and if you're listening on Spotify. Today's episode's a big one, guys. We've got a special guest on board today. The one, the only, Zac Langdon, former West Coast Eagle, former GWS Giant player, and now PT, mate.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, firstly. It's a pleasure to be on the podcast. But yeah, like you said, 2 clubs. Very grateful and blessed to be, at 2, big clubs in the AFL. Giants not as big, probably supporter base, but probably one of, if not the best place I've ever played footy at.
Yeah, okay.
And now, doing a bit of PT work myself, mate. It's nice.
You've got Dos on board, mate.
Yep.
Getting him a 6-pack for the first time in his life.
I hope so.
If I can help him out, mate, it's job well done.
I'm sure you will, mate. Look, everyone's seen your physique, mate, and we know you're always shredded.
I want half that.
So, yeah. Well, 5 years in the AFL system, might help a bit with the physique, I suppose. But how are you anyway, mate? What we like to do on here first is we go through a bit of a mental health check. We're quite big on mental health. So, firstly, mate, how's your mentals?
Yeah, I was doing a bit of stalking on the page actually, and seeing that you boys were talking a bit about mental health, which is great. I think it's such a massive thing, and I've seen a few boys get pretty vulnerable on the page as well, which is awesome, and I encourage it so much. At the moment, I suppose probably getting right into it, but obviously left West Coast a month or so ago, or 2 months ago, and a lot of people ask me like, how you going with it all? And probably at the start it was a bit of a strange transition. And everyone's like, they'd make comments, you're so hard done by, or what happened and stuff like that. But I honestly, and I'm a big believer in everything happening for a reason. I've always believed that, more so in the last couple of years. And not that you agree with certain things, but I'm just really content with everything at the moment. I don't know everything that's going to happen, which is exciting, and starting a new kind of venture with my coaching, personal training, and with West Perth. But I'm actually really content at the moment. Feeling good. Still very blessed. I've got a great family support around me and a good bunch of boys, and so going well.
No, that's good to hear, mate. So first question off the rank, do you read a lot into the social media side of things? Obviously that's a big thing with like when you're, you're in a AFL club and stuff like that, everyone likes to throw out all these comments and stuff like you said. Do you read into that much, or do you kind of still try to stay off it and stuff like that?
I think early days I did. Like, I'd probably more finish a game and you'd be jumping straight on there, seeing the comments. And even if you weren't the one jumping on there, your mates think it's the best thing to send them all to you.
Oh, really?
Go, mate, look at this bloke. Like, if you've had a good game, it's really good. But if you didn't play so well, your mates is like, oh, look at this joker, like saying this about you. Like, thanks for sending that through, mate. Like,
I'd rub it in.
Needed to hear that after that game.
Yeah, so I think early days I did, but
that's probably natural though, I think, to do that.
Yeah.
And then to learn to not, when you're young and drafted, that's the first thing you do. It happens.
It would be such an easy thing to get sucked into, I reckon.
Yeah.
Jumping on Facebook and that, checking Twitter.
Yeah, especially when you're obviously younger, but as you grow older, you tend to take those things with like a grain of salt as you go on. You know what I mean? So it's a
Everyone's got their own kind of opinions, and
everyone's got their own opinion on fucking social media.
yeah, I'm sure when you guys have got 100,000 followers,
we're not even that big, and we like when we have our photo shoots and stuff, because we do all the modelling ourselves, like want to show our faces and stuff. Mate, we've had some of the worst comments, like just Joe blows, like.
And it's
We'll have some old fucking fat 49-year-old on his couch, like like going, look at these fuckwits.
Yeah.
Like just comment on like our photos and stuff like that. So we've had it as well. It's pretty sure it's everywhere, but it's pretty toxic, really.
It is, but I think it's a really important reminder to, not read into what everyone thinks, and not just see someone's opinion and go, that must be right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like what who you are as a person, and what you guys are trying to get out there, and if you're really tackling mental health and getting people's stories out there for the right reasons, you got nothing to kind of there's nothing to be ashamed of. Like you're just being you guys, and that's awesome.
Yep.
I think if we listened to all those people, then we wouldn't be here still today. So
No, definitely not.
So now we just keep trucking on, doing our thing.
So you played juniors for Dampier.
Yep.
And then came to Perth and played for Claremont.
Yep.
Drafted at pick 56 in 2017. 3 seasons there, then traded to West Coast at the end of 2020 and played 2 seasons there, and now at West Perth.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your journey, like through the AFL from when you got drafted, because you got drafted a bit older than most.
Yep.
Tell us a bit about your journey coming through from Dampier. And
Yep. So like you said, hit the nail on the head. I played all my junior footy with Dampier.
Yep.
So I suppose if anyone doesn't know, it's a little town up in the Pilbara. I was a Sparky beforehand.
Good man.
So I started my apprenticeship up there, and just working on the mines. It's obviously right now, literally 30 seconds from a mine site.
No fly out then.
Nah. Dad's a helicopter pilot, so it would have been nice to be flown, but wasn't the case. But it was awesome, like playing country footy there with my 2 brothers. A club that I've played for since I was little. Dad was a junior club president. Whole family just involved. Best bunch of people.
Yep.
It wasn't until probably the end of 2015 that I had a really good family friend. So I won the best and fairest up there, and he kind of hit me up and just said, "Look, mate, I think it's a good opportunity." He knew the coach through Claremont. He played a lot of games for them. He's Indigenous man, Larry Kickett. It's actually my brother's father-in-law. I kind of had a month to kind of decide and put my apprenticeship on hold. And I remember thinking, because I know when I got my apprenticeship, Dad was just over the moon. He just said, "Oh, you're set for life with Rio, rah rah." But just said, I need to go down and give footy a crack. And kind of me and Ellie had only been, so Ellie, obviously my wife now, only been together for about 5-6 months. And she comes from a really strict Macedonian family.
Yeah, okay.
Well, kind of were a bit stricter, and it was normally they don't move out until they're married. So it was a big kind of month of decisions, but it was something I kind of had to do. But came down, didn't know if I'd make a session or get cut after 2. But I remember rolling down for the first day, and I didn't know at the time, but Mum and Ellie were still hiding in the car watching me. The 2K, I was like, never done one of these before, and I was like, put my best foot forward, stood at the line, took off. Did not know how far 2Ks was. Looking behind, I'm smoking them. About a lap and a half in. All the boys passed me. It I wasn't. It wasn't the worst time, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't break any records.
This is at Claremont, yeah?
Yeah, at Claremont, and like good bunch of boys, and a good coach at the time as well. And ended up making it through post Chrissy, and I gave my apprentice advisor a call and just said, "Look, I'm going to stay down here and give it a crack." And they were really supportive. And Ellie moved down, and played my first 3 games in the tours, and then lucky enough to debut, and played the rest of my time for the league that year. And
Did you continue your apprenticeship while you were playing, or you just stuck to footy?
yeah, no. So I picked it back up. Yeah, so I picked it back up probably about a month or 2 in.
Yeah.
Just with a family friend, and he let me finish it off with him. So he was really good as well. But second year. Do we want to hear about second year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of had a good break. Probably too good actually. I went to so this is probably before I knew about getting in shape, and went to Macedonia to meet Ellie's family. And they're like, no, look, you'll be able to run. Got a gym just across the road. I'm thinking, yep, sweet. Got a program there. Got there and it's minus 22.
Motivation's gone straight away.
Gym didn't exist. This is no kidding.
There's a bloke called Jim that lived across the road.
It was all fucking snowed under.
Yeah. No gym in sight. They wake up and eat pasta for breakfast.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And drink homemade grappa.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't say no to.
That'd be rude.
No, definitely not.
And I came back in an absolute truck.
Oh, I love it.
It was the biggest I've ever been.
What'd you put on?
Oh, I reckon I'll get a photo up for you later. I reckon I'll put on 6 kilos.
Yeah.
And somehow had the best pre-season of my life.
So you've stuck with that for the last few years?
All that pasta, mate.
I think I might need to go back to it. But like as funny as it was, I probably had the best break, like in terms of resting my body.
Yeah.
Forced sitting down. But then like had another pre-season with Claremont, which is awesome. New coach at the time, so Darren Harris.
Yep.
Who obviously my coach now at West Perth. And connected with him straight away. And played league that whole year. And then I didn't. That's a lie. 3 games in, I remember getting a call from a random number, and he left a message after the game and said, "Hey mate, it's Colin Young. I'm a manager.
Yep.
Want to catch up for a chat. There's a few clubs that are, kind of interested." And I couldn't believe it. Like coming from Dampier, I've only just played a season of Waffle, and my goal was just to play a game of league footy for the Waffle.
Yeah.
And I remember just calling home and just said, "Look, Dad, like Waffle, no AFL club's interested." And the next round I ended up getting concussed, and missed. I think it was 10 games with a concussion.
Timing, eh?
Yeah.
Oh,
So at the time, I was probably just thinking about footy and just going, "Oh, like this, this opportunity's gone now."
Yep.
Kind of didn't hear from anyone. But the longer the time went on, I was thinking, geez, like, am I going to play footy again? And, it wasn't probably till, 11 games later that I came back and played like half a game in the tours.
Yep.
And next game I played league and then got another call. Dream's still alive. So I was like, you beauty. Finish off the rest of that year, and then got a call for the draft combine, and I was like, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Pretty surreal, eh?
It was,
getting all these calls and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it was.
back to Macedonia.
Yeah. Book the flights up. Let's go. Put it another 10. But yeah, this is kind of where it all changed, and we just spoke like briefly off air or at the start about Ellie and kind of her little battle and big battle. But yeah, it was about. I reckon it was about 2 weeks, probably about a month before the draft. Yeah, it was. It was a month before the draft. Just about to go into the draft combine, and Ellie just, said one day she just had this pain in her shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, like obviously, you boys would know, you played footy, you played sports before, and you get pains and stuff. So I didn't think too much of it at the start, and it lingered around for a little bit, and it was like, let's go, we'll just go to the doctors. And she's like, oh, I'll get a scan. And then, we ended up getting a scan, and they found a lump kind of next to her heart.
Yep.
And same thing, like I'm pretty optimistic. She's probably more of a realist, and I'm thinking, no, it's nothing. It won't be anything. And we ended up getting a biopsy, and come back with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is obviously a type of cancer. So that's pretty much where all of our kind of focus went.
Straight away.
Naturally. Obviously you don't know what's going through kind of her head.
Yeah.
And, the family's head, mine. We opted to, almost pull out of the draft, and which seemed like the viable thing to do at the time. And, I suppose with that, another couple of weeks went past. We got a bit of a plan in place with what we're going to do, and Ellie was going to start chemo. A couple of weeks went past, and we just had this conversation, and she just said, like, no matter what happens, you're going in the draft. To her, it didn't really, she still put me first somehow. I don't know how, and I don't even, still get emotional talking about it now, because she's a pretty incredible person. But so we made a decision together that we were already probably like struggling, and I wouldn't say like struggling as in like, we didn't have a whole lot of money, but still, we're still renting a place.
Yeah.
We still had, great family around us and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm saying we were home.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was, still after paying boots and stuff like that. So I wasn't, pay to pay kind of thing.
Yeah.
And with Ellie not working now and stuff like that, it was, it was like, we need to obviously support something. And, so we made the decision we're going to go into the draft. And, so Giants, I remember Giants getting in contact with us, and they ended up coming over and meeting myself, Ellie and Mum.
Yeah.
And
Who was that came over?
From the Giants?
Yeah.
Emma Quayle. So it was just it was just their like recruiting team. Yep. So Emma Quayle, I'm having an absolute mind blank here.
That's good.
Their head recruiting guy, absolute legend.
This guy should know.
Not Jason McCartney, is it?
No.
Yeah, I've got mind blank too.
It'll come to me in a second.
Yep.
It'll come to me in a second. He's a great man. And yeah, Ellie's got a wig on and stuff like that, so they would have had no idea. And yeah, I remember them walking out, and we all just kind of said, like, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Mum knew it. I knew it. Just had the best vibe from him. And as kind of bittersweet as it was, like we just had this feeling. Draft kind of night came around, and Mum had this bit of paper, and because we've spoken to a few other clubs, she just had the Giants picks on there, and she'd circled 56.
Really?
Yeah, circled 56. It was coming around, and you know, as close as it was getting, she was whipping it out, and I'm kind of thinking like.
So at this stage, did you know? Did you were fairly confident you were sort of getting picked somewhere by one of the clubs, or you had no idea at this stage?
No, still.
They didn't tell you for sure.
No. So even with my manager, he'd have the best idea.
Yeah.
But even he was like, mate, you just don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
You could go in the rookie, you might not.
Yeah.
It might not happen. But there was a couple of teams there that were interested around that 50 mark. And, 56 come up. And, I remember we were sitting on the couch and Dad's outside, like halfway in, just having like a durry. We're all like kind of on the edge, and Shane Mumford gets up and, I've had a mare with the sheet. So you fill out like your draft form, and he's got up and he's gone off with 56. We've selected Zac, and like I've kind of got up, and then he's gone Giles because that's my middle name, but they've hyphened it. So I'm thinking, like for the split second, I'm thinking it's someone else. So we're all up, and then you're down, and then Langdon, and we're all just like, yeah.
What a feeling, eh?
It was the biggest, roller coaster of emotions, and just, knowing that I've been picked up, but then heading away from Ellie while she was doing the treatment was, it was another, So road to the draft.
Road to the draft, yeah. Unreal. It's amazing how much happened sort of all in that small period.
Yeah, sorry, I did a lot of talking.
No, that's right. It's crazy though, because so much goes on, and you don't know sort of you're up and down, and it's just it's crazy.
So when you got drafted, how long until they say, all right, get over here, you're getting stuck into it?
Yep, instantly.
Straight away?
Yep. So
It's only a couple of days, hey? Like,
yeah. And if you've got a job, so my boss at the time, he was Scottish, and
couldn't give a fuck about AFL.
Didn't know what footy was.
no idea.
You're like, I gotta go. He's like, nah.
You can go after work.
He needed 2 weeks leave, and I remember him telling me that Freo rang him because Freo were another club that were interested at the time, and they rang him and just said, oh, look, we're thinking about Zac, what kind of person he is. Probably just doing more of a
background check,
Yeah, and he said, oh, like how many days a week do you need him? Not knowing that it's full time.
Tuesday, Thursday nights.
And I said, no, like this is full time, mate. Like I'm going to have to obviously go. And it was Sydney, so it was. Draft was on the Friday night, and I left on the Sunday to start training on the Monday.
Holy shit.
And also, to add to that, like that'd be hard for anyone, but to add to that for you in your situation, it was obviously discussing with Ellie like what was happening and what the plan was.
We kind of had to pack up and go. Well, I had to pack up and go, and a lot of the planning was on the road. To be honest.
While we're on the move to Sydney, was anyone? I suppose a lot of the young guys that get drafted, you hear about them getting. Someone will take them under their wing or move in with a senior player, or was that the case with you or not, being a bit older?
No, definitely. So like with the Giants, they've got such a good mentor space. But going to a club where there was actually a lot of young boys as well, I suppose it wasn't walking into a place where you were just 2 or 3 young draftees.
Yep.
So I think it was just about clicking with, and everyone's away from home there, so you kind of just have a really tight bunch of boys.
I suppose there wouldn't be many from Sydney because a lot of the Sydney boys are playing NRL.
Generally, just the academy guys and that.
Yep. So I just clicked really well with a certain few boys at the start, and then ended up just kind of being everyone. So in terms of like mentors, when I got there, Daniel Lloyd, he just reminded me so much of my older brother.
Yeah.
And me and him just
carpenter.
Yeah, and a very good man. And we just clicked straight away. just best mates.
Was he from country areas as well?
He's from Central Coast, eh?
Yeah. Central Coast. And similar, like, you know, he had a couple of young kids at the time, Charlie and Parker, and Crystal, his wife, and we're just very similar. Like, he was a carpenter, you know, Sparky.
Yeah.
Kind of had lives beforehand. I shouldn't say lives, but like previous jobs I come from.
Yeah.
And then clicked really well with Jezza, Big Jez Cameron. He was obviously the locker next door to me, but you know, he loved his fishing, and stuff like that. And we ended up playing way too much COD together as well.
Fuck, he doesn't strike me as the one to play COD, eh?
Oh mate,
Such an outdoorsman.
I think he'll tell you that I got him back onto something that he knew that he was addicted to. And the outdoor athlete. I don't know if you've seen that page. Quickly turned to the indoor athlete. So he was a genuine couch potato back on it. But
Be sure to clip that one up.
Yeah. Send that through to him. But same again. He's incredible man. And just clicked really well with a lot of boys. Matty DeBoer, Perth boy, obviously from Freo, moved over. He's a great mentor.
You only hear good things about Matty DeBoer.
King.
Yeah.
Good heart. Worked hard, and that's probably who I looked at for like work ethic.
Yeah.
But then like boys like Josh Kelly would, you know, go to the beach on Thursdays. Same thing, just an ultra professional, good fella. And all the boys there were just really good. Loved a beer and good time and train hard. So
it's the life, eh?
It would be the life.
So those were the teammates you loved the most, sort of at the Giants. You were closest with that sort of handful.
Yeah, I'd definitely say Jezza and Lloydie.
Yep.
But then there's boys like Isaac Cumming. Same again. Like he took me, you know, with him at the start. A couple of years younger.
Yep.
And I'll never forget. Like, you know, probably when I first got there, he was probably, you know, he's one of those people. He's the one that would go up to all the new boys and just you know, chat to them, make sure they feel welcome.
Yep.
But mate, list goes on. Like Phil Davis, love him.
Yeah.
Callum Ward. Yeah, the whole leadership group there is just honestly just genuine people, and I can say this now, and I would say that forever, even not being at the club. So yeah,
that's good.
Who's the biggest pest at the Giants? Who were there?
Oh,
I said to the boys, it won't be someone that you just automatically think from the outside world like a Toby Green. It won't be Toby Green. It'll be someone that's sort of. I said it would be someone a bit quieter that you don't really hear the name of, I reckon.
So, my first year there, Shane Mumford wasn't playing, but I'd heard that he loved getting in the boys.
Big kid.
Yeah, big kid. And I remember he came back out of retirement in the second year, and they've hit the nail on the head.
You'd be scared to bring him back, but
Oh, yeah. But same thing, like, and it would just be stuff like you'd be that sore, or you know, just not in the mood, and you just come and smack you on the ass as hard as you could.
Yeah, that'd be a hard smack.
Yeah, and just
A big hand.
just do stuff. You just go, why? Yeah, why?
Come on, mate.
Yeah, why? But same thing, like one of the best blokes to ever be with, like. Yeah.
or 20.
Yep.
It'd be 20 for him, 1 for you.
I've actually got that question written down. If you've ever had session with Big Mummy.
Like a beer?
Yeah, like a session. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
yeah. No, we've yes, we have had a few sessions with Mummy. More particularly probably the COVID year when we're all in the hub.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, so we had a few big nights in there, which was good. And you can put them away.
What is speaking of that? Is that from the outside? We see it as, I think it's 6-day breaks, no beers. They say, but if you've got say 8-day break, you're allowed, but not to the extent of 2 a.m. being captured in a nightclub sort of thing. But what is that? Is that what they say it is, or is it completely different to that?
No, pretty much. Yeah, so typical rules would be anywhere below like a 7-day break, probably not allowed. If it's a quiet beer with dinner and stuff like that, like, you know, you're still an adult. But yeah, anywhere over 7 days, if you've got an injury, not allowed, which is, unless it's like long term. So if you've got an ACL or something like that, they can't expect you not to have a beer for a year. But yeah, anywhere over 7 days, then it's kind of play on. But yeah, as long as you rock up Monday and, you know, you're good to go and you're not rocking, you know.
Did you ever not rock up?
Nah, I couldn't dare to. But definitely went through patches there when I first got there. Yeah, kind of every weekend in pre-season, you'd be rolling in Monday a bit dusty. But you just probably know it's the best thing for, you know, relationships. And it's when you learn the most about people. And it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So what was that like transitioning from, well, obviously you come from country, you know, then you're moving to the big smoke in Sydney. Was that a bit of a culture shock or?
Yeah, for sure. It was in terms of like just people.
Yeah.
And Sydney's probably one of the most busiest places.
I was going to say, it's not even, you can't even compare it to Perth because
it's
different.
Nah, people come to Perth and call it country. Like legit. It's,
they always say there's nothing going on in Perth.
Yeah, which I disagree with.
Yeah.
Love Perth. But like in terms of the people, traffic, how full lot it was, and so much going on there. Big shock, but we absolutely loved it. Like, me and Ellie are big foodies, so try and get out as much as possible, and take your pick.
Sport for choice, eh?
Yeah.
Good lifestyle then?
It was, like, apart from here, I'd say it's...
Where were you living?
So we were in Breakfast Point for the first year.
Oh, yeah.
And then we went to Drummoyne.
Yep.
So probably 15 from the city.
Yep.
Half an hour from the beach. And, love the beach. And, it's got some great spots there.
Yeah.
Bit different to like Melbourne where it's fucking... At the moment, it's snowing. I saw in country Victoria at the moment.
Yeah.
It's meant to be summer.
It's probably one of your greatest memories, even though you weren't playing at the time. But the 2019 prelim final. There's the footage of... you've got that photo on your Instagram of you and the boys. Celebrating with Cogs and Toby.
Yeah.
Talk us through, like, the emotions and, like, just the excitement over that whole... Like, that final series was just phenomenal, like, in excitement, like, exciting way.
Yeah, it was. I think it was just such a big build-up from the last couple of years, and I think Giants have just had this, I suppose, this label on them for years that they were given all these picks. They're so lucky. They get all this money. They should be winning flags.
That's what these two say.
I said the other day, they can buy a flag with this money they're getting.
But it honestly could not be any more opposite. Like when you go there and you realise how they were training for the first probably 8 years, they were in an RSL club, rooms with gyprock, putting holes in the wall. And the owner will be like, oh, it's all right, I'll patch it up later. Training on a baseball pitch. And then they'd go to an ath track and do their gym in this tiny gym, do touch sessions on gravel road until they got a facility. And it's not that new, like in Olympic Park. And I think, like you said, from the outside looking in, it's like you should be winning all these games. But having 10, top 10 draft picks, kids, you're not just going to win flags. Like, that's not what it's built off. And, it was the year before, so obviously we lost against the Pies, which you played in.
I didn't do it. I didn't play for them.
And no, like nothing against them. I actually really like the Pies. And, so we lost against them, which is obviously heartbreaking. in front of 85,000
Yeah.
Collingwood supporters. I think we had 10,000 there.
Yeah.
And it was deafening. And but one of the best experiences I've ever had. And the year after, obviously we made the finals, and I tore my syndesmosis, so I wasn't playing in that one. But yeah, we were on the kind of the bench, and I remember we were up by heaps in that game, and Pies came back hard, and we were just sitting on the fence.
Yeah.
And, as soon as that siren went, and we knew we were going through, it was even if you're not kind of playing in it, but you're a part of it.
Yeah, you're still feeling all that.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
And I think, Toby obviously knew, because he got suspended. He knew he was playing in the granny, and rightfully so. Yeah. Ecstatic.
Yeah, you're not leaving him out.
No, I love Toby.
Yeah.
You could probably speak on him if you want.
On Toby?
Yeah, because obviously you know what the Grant, like the media and stuff like that, portray him as, and people say he's a grub and all that sort of stuff. So what's your assessment on Toby?
Yeah, so
because people in the club see like the complete opposite.
Yep.
Of what the outside says.
Yeah, even just that about the facilities and that, like it's the complete opposite to what they portray.
Yeah. So every time I'd come home, or I'd just have messages from all the boys like, "What's Toby like?" Everyone just wanted to know, because like you said, from the outside looking in, people see him on the field, and first thing I'll say about Toby is, if you go on a war, he's the number one person you'd pick, because he'd have your back.
Love that.
You can see that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yep. Genuinely.
He'll do anything to win.
Yep. Or for you.
Yeah.
If you're on his team.
Yeah.
And so Toby, he's at times very quiet, and then other times very loud. But yeah, he's one of the most loyal people to that club and to his friends and family. And I know he's very close with his mum.
Yeah.
Great relationships there. And yeah, I loved Toby while I was there. Great man. On the field, he'd do some things that you'd be like, probably treading on thin ice, but that's how he played, and that's why he's so good.
Yeah.
Well, he almost changed, or he did change the rule
the game
for sticking his leg out.
Yeah.
It was that Dow House, eh?
That's who he hit. Yeah, but he did one a week after or something, but was nowhere near as bad. But I think that's when they brought in that Toby Green rule.
Yeah.
Karate Kid.
Yeah.
But no,
it's a reflex.
Good man. If you go on a war, give him a buzz.
Picking Toby.
Yeah.
Just going back to how you were saying the way with the facilities when the Giants first started. Why do you think, or in your opinion, they're so much further ahead than the Suns? Would they have started out pretty similar in terms of draft capital and stuff that they were given from the AFL, when you guys have had grand finals and finals appearances, whereas the Suns are battling to make the 8?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I actually don't know. It's obviously the Suns come in before, and it was probably the first, I don't know if you'd call it a project team kind of thing. Obviously, it wouldn't be a project team now. They've got a great bunch of boys, and they're probably such a good family-orientated club as well. But yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of places it's the people that you get there, and a lot of people went there and then left back to Victoria. They lost a lot of high draft picks.
Yeah.
Had a lot of injuries as well, and yeah, so I couldn't answer that one, to be honest.
I think, like you said, it does come down to the people that you bring in and the foundations that you create within the club and stuff like that. So,
but it could be as simple as the Giants did it better.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
we'll just go with
so.
that.
They have really.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to comment on it because I actually don't know, because I haven't been inside the club, but I know boys that are there and mate, they love it. So, hopefully for their sake they can keep building. They've got some good young kids.
Yeah.
But maybe just who they got in initially and it was the first team that kind of came in, so it was probably they didn't have really anything to gauge it off.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely tough.
Oh, this is a pretty hard one, but why do you think the Giants didn't win a flag in that time period? So I hear a lot of people like ex-players now that have left the Giants and saying like there was just too many mids. It was just mids like galore at the Giants.
Yeah.
Through that period.
Yeah, like I think I don't know if when you go into a team or when you're playing in a team, I think there's a fine balance of having a lot of very good talented people.
Yeah.
And then having a great mix of role players.
Yeah.
And I think like the talent and like those boys work hard like that. At the Giants, I've never done a harder preseason in my life. So them boys work so hard. But yeah, maybe just that. Like they had a lot of boys that were really high draft picks, still so young.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be commenting out of my league saying like this is why they don't win a flag.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of things to go right to win a flag, and Leon Cameron to take him to that many final series. Yeah. Take him so close, like such a good effort. But yeah, I don't know. Like there's so many times like the Dogs in 16. Yeah. That was probably the year that
should have been the grand final.
Yeah. Okay. 17, we played the Pies in the semi. We lost that. Obviously made it in. Sorry, was it 17? No, sorry, 18.
18 was when you lost the prelim.
Yeah. 19 made the granny.
Yep.
And then 20 not so well. But yeah, so many things have to go right. And I think maybe a bit of luck involved, but it's a hard one to say exactly.
Probably you've run out of steam in that 2019 after having those such hard games back to back. We're just like holding on.
Yeah.
Especially for a young side, you're competing against clubs that have been there before and players that have been there before. And
when you come up against a side like Richmond that have been there multiple times.
A side like Dustin Martin.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they're a pretty good team at the time, Richmond. But in saying that, we'd beat them during the year and the year before. So it definitely wasn't impossible. Like we were going in there thinking we can win this, but it just didn't happen for us on the day. That's footy.
That's it. Hicks?
Well, saying Dusty just reminded me of his question. In your opinion, who do you think the best player in the AFL is? And have you shared the field with them? If that might have persuaded your answer a little bit.
So at the moment, best player, or when?
Or both, maybe. Maybe when you played, and who you think now?
I think the person I've most been starstruck by was Buddy.
Yeah.
Just to see his presence on the field, I remember he fended me off.
He's a big unit,
Yeah, huge. The week before we played, so we beat him that day at the SCG in the first final, elimination final, before we played the Pies, and I remember running at him full steam ahead, just going, I'm tackling Buddy. 50,000 people there, a full SCG, and he's just gone bang, straight in the chest. Wasn't mad.
The last time you tried that?
Nah, I'd go for it every time. 'Cause I remember I actually got Dusty. Dusty tried to fend me off that year early on, and I got it, and I was going to hold the ball. So I'll still go for him. But I'd say him. Dusty, obviously incredible. But then a lot of people say like Clayton Oliver and Petrarca, like two absolute bulls. So very strong in the contest. But the toughest defender I've ever played on Tom Stewart for Geelong.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, he's
Just
good,
so smart, and strong, as well, and just knew when to kind of drop off and stuff like that. So
Yeah, just footy IQ.
yeah, so probably a mix, but yeah, those inside mids and Buddy probably caught me. Definitely getting starstruck a bit.
Yeah.
Would Jezza be the best forward you've played with?
Yeah, so in terms of talent,
Yeah.
Jezza, I don't know if you would have seen YouTube videos of kids throwing basketballs over houses and getting him in rings.
Yeah.
That's just Jezza. That's just him he'd just be walking off the field and he'd just snap one from 60, legit 60, and somehow banana it in, and he'd just do that stuff and it'd just become the norm. So in terms of talent and as a forward, he's he'd be up there.
Well, he's actually still doing that. He's with his golfing. I don't know if you've seen on his social media the other day. He was hitting the golf ball and it was like 3 centimetres away from the phone when he was recording it.
Yeah.
You just see it straight past it. So
Yeah, he can do some pretty freaky stuff, that bloke.
he's got a bit of time on his hands now. He's got the farm as well.
Yeah.
So you would have been pretty stoked with him winning the flag this year, eh?
Yeah, no, I was. I messaged him afterwards and gave him a call. So I think if anyone deserves it, it's probably him.
That's awesome.
It's bittersweet for a Giants supporter. See him go away and then win a flag. Would have loved one with him, but unfortunately that's how it goes sometimes in footy.
It is.
Did you see the Sicily the Sicily scuffle on the news this week?
No, I'd seen something posted.
It's similar to the Jake Stringer Mason Redmond one just about 2 weeks ago.
So
training.
There's vision at the Hawks training where Sicily's in a bit of a throwing match with, who was it?
Someone tackled him and he didn't like it.
I think it was Connor McDonald, and it was getting pretty heated, and then it got broken up, and then Sam Frost jumped in and he was doing the same thing to McDonald. So my question was, do you think that's normal, or does that happen at footy clubs often and it just doesn't get shown to the public?
Because the media make it out like it, again, it's probably the opposite, but media make it out like it's the worst thing ever.
No, if you're in a preseason or an AFL game, or they would have been doing match play, you're going flat out,
Training like you play.
Yeah, you're training like
you're doing match
playing.
simulation.
Yeah, you're putting everything on the line, and you're going to get angry. If you're not getting angry and passionate about it, and Sicily's a very passionate person,
That he is.
Playing against him, he's one of the more aggressive people you'll play against. And that's probably another story about the corky he gave me. About 200 metres off the ball. But
Hicker loves him.
I love Sicily.
Good player. Good player. I think it's normal. As long as it's not a dog shot. Or as long as you can make up afterwards, I'm all for it.
Because that's what you were saying, the players always come out and brush it off.
Giath probably could have said it a bit better, but he said a bit of a biff is a good thing. That's what he was saying, but he was joking about it. But I guess they have to say that. But
it's a physical sport.
Yeah, like the Mason Redmond and Jake Stringer one. Mason Redmond came out in the press conference and they asked him, and of course he's going to say what he said. 5 minutes later, we're having a chat. The cameras didn't pick that up, and I'm like, well,
yeah,
but I wonder if has there ever been? Do you know any times where it's dragged out a bit longer than that, where sort of someone's taken it a bit more to heart?
No, to be honest, not really.
And that shows that it probably is just normal.
Nothing like O'Halpin. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Oh, that was
it? Was it Blues or
Cameron Cloak, and he kicked the shit out of him.
Kicked him on the floor,
and
then knocked him out. Have you seen that?
He got suspended for that.
Yeah,
I have not seen that.
He fucking hooks him and he knocks him out, and then he kicks him on the floor while he runs off.
Yeah,
that ain't a team, mate.
Nah,
that's a bully. So you had a bit of a run-in with Sicily.
He probably wouldn't even remember. But yeah, we were playing at the G, and there wasn't too much in it, but there's always target players on the other side.
Yeah,
and because he was so good, such a good intercept marker, he'd spend a bit of time getting into him a little bit.
Yeah,
And I remember the ball was at the other side of the field, and he'd obviously got sick of me probably trying to get in front of him. And he's walked past and given me the biggest corky in the side of the quad ever. And I'm trying to walk it off, and it just got worse and worse. And yeah, played the rest of the game just limping around, and just remember going, why did I even try? Like trying, like, you know what I mean, getting his way kind of thing, but smart like that from him.
Do coaches instruct players to do that to certain players?
Like try and put them off their game?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Like, you definitely have your target players where, you know, like him, if he's a really good intercept marker, just try and take him off his game for sure.
Yeah.
In like, you know, not taking it too far, but like just in the spirit of the game.
Yeah, okay. Just when the ball's in the air, clobber him.
Yep.
Make him earn it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, just give him a hard day more so.
Yeah. Because you see, like, always at the start of a game or start of a quarter, you see, like Bont walking to the middle. Two players from another team would go up and just try to ruffle him straight away.
Yeah.
Doesn't faze him, but...
Well, that's what Sicily tried to do to him, and Bont fucking put him back in his place.
Yeah.
Last season, I think it was.
That's who I think is the best.
Flattened him.
Bont.
Bont?
Do you reckon he's top 5?
Yes. Yeah. No, he's a gun, and such a young leader as well. You forget how young he is, actually. Oh, yeah.
So, obviously, you came to the end of being at the Giants. Was it bittersweet? Like, why did you request the trade? Obviously, back home.
Yeah. So, probably like what we touched on earlier with Ellie, and so that COVID year kind of happened. So Ellie's kind of was coming back and forth. She'd finished her treatment, but would have to come back every few months.
Yeah.
For obviously checkups with her doctor.
Okay, so she wasn't living with you.
No,
full
she
time in
was.
Sydney.
No, she was.
Oh, she was. Okay, yep.
Yep. So at the start, she wasn't.
Yep.
So while she was going through chemo and radiation, she wasn't.
Yep.
But then when she came over, you still need to do blood tests.
Yeah.
Constant checkups just to see if everything's on track. So in the first year or 2 years, it was okay because she'd be able to fly back. Times I'd be able to fly back with her and come straight back.
Yep.
But with COVID, it put a bit of a spanner in the works, and obviously she'd come home, wouldn't be able to come back for months.
Yeah.
We just didn't know if this. Well, no one knew at the time, right? How long this is going to last, and
was her both your families back up north?
No, so her parents had just moved down.
Okay.
To Perth. But it was at the time we didn't know how long it was going to last, and I kind of had to make a decision. What kind of partner I wanted to be, and I just said, like, probably enough's enough. Like, you've sacrificed this much for me. I need to be there for you for these checkups. If next year is going to be another repeat of this, and I can't be there for you for these scans and stuff like that, like, I don't want to do that kind of thing. And West Coast kind of reached out to us early that year, and we're just in chats with them, and around the trade period, I made a decision with Ellie, my family, and with West Coast and the Giants as well, that would make the trade.
Yeah. Does that make it tough? Sorry, when you're playing mid-year and you're in discussions with them, and then you play West Coast, does that come into the picture at all in your mind on game day?
Oh, so sorry. Once they approached us, we didn't really take it any further until pretty much the end of the year.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't. I didn't want to make any decision or be talking to, them and have my mind made up before the end of the year. Yeah. Just out of like respect.
Yep.
So I reckon it would.
Yeah, I think
definitely.
People would say, I don't let it get into my mind and that, but it would naturally, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, if people have already got half a foot out the door.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case. Like I was, every game I was being a Giant.
Yeah.
And, at that time I was a Giant the next year for all I knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't until like the end of the year around the trade period that we're like, yeah, let's kind of make it happen. I remember meeting with Leon and Jason again, and I remember Leon saying if it doesn't go through, because these things sometimes don't go through, and there's obviously certain parties involved. If it doesn't go through, your contract's still here, and you're more than welcome back here.
Yep.
Which just shows the character of kind of them and stuff like that, and
it probably shows that you're not just sort of pissing off just for the sake of it. You're doing it for family and things like that.
Yeah, and they were so understanding of that. So yeah, definitely bittersweet, and something that I think about now, and I still get emotional about it, to be honest. And because they were such a good club, and
Ends up being like a family.
yeah, it did. And you don't realise till you go from places sometimes that you're like far out, like geez, it's good place and good bunch of boys. But ended up at West Coast, for the 2020 season or 21 season.
21.
Yeah,
Yeah.
22. Yeah.
How was that time for you? Is in a brief summary how? Unless you want to go deeper with it, but West Coast.
Like I said, when I first got there, same thing. Like the boys there, and I'm still really good mates with the boys. Which is awesome, because with footy clubs, as you'd know, with workplaces, you create bonds with people, and
it's the people that make them.
Yeah, and I was just down south at Tommy Cole's wedding, and with all the boys there, and they're mates that I'll have for life. They were at my wedding. So, in terms of the boys, I couldn't have said or couldn't say much more about them. Like, it's just such a good bunch of lads, and we'll love them.
Yeah.
The club, awesome for me. My first year there, and obviously I debuted round one there, and same thing. Like my forwards coach Webby, Martin Nikoski, mentor. People that are just genuinely there for you, and you need great people like that at a club. But yeah, it just wasn't. I probably didn't play the footy that I wanted to play there, and with injuries, like especially this year, I played the first few games, and then I broke my foot, missed like 12 games, and then when I was coming back from that, I tore my ab, and probably the end of the year.
What's an ab?
That's an old one.
Ab?
Yeah, also.
These blokes don't know what abs are.
not
I will soon.
Yeah, stick to the program.
Yeah.
Yeah. I seen the pineapple cruiser out there. That wouldn't be yours, would it?
Definitely not mine.
Not even.
I actually said to the boys the other day, I said, I've eaten the healthiest this week I have in a long time. I haven't broken stride once. So
Yeah, you didn't have a beer Wednesday on the pod. So.
yeah, normally I have a beer on a Wednesday on a pod, but I didn't. So
Mate,
You'll be able to check in every pod anyway and see.
see.
yeah, I'll be watching. So yeah, it was. Yeah, definitely wasn't the year I wanted to have, and probably wasn't the 2 years that I wanted to have in terms of my footy. Like, yeah, I'd be kidding myself if I walked away going, "Geez, I was that good the last 2 years. How did this happen?" Because my form, probably wasn't where I wanted it. And it's funny, like I laugh about it now. Like my best year in the AFL was my first year, and like I played every game without an injury. I just felt so good there. Obviously, my second year I missed every game bar one. With injuries, like broke both my feet. Feet, yeah. What's going on with my feet at the moment? that's just
Too much trotting, mate.
yeah, along the coast. So yeah, and I remember like so many people would say, just do what you did in your first year. My dad would be like, just repeat that, and I'm like, yeah,
If
no
it's that
shit.
easy.
Yeah, I would if I could, mate.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was disappointing to get to the end of this year and then not be there anymore. Because I still feel like I've got so much left to offer in the AFL.
I actually had that as a question I was going to ask. How early did you sort of know, like with discussions and that? Was it not until the end of the season, or did you sort of know pretty early that, well, not early, but a few games left of the season, you sort of knew that time's coming, or they just sort of drop it on you?
Yeah, so they're obviously going through times where, they didn't have a great season. In terms of games wise, wins, losses, and they've got to make decisions which, respect it or not, and not that I agree with it, because if I came on here and said I agree with it, I'd be lying.
Yeah.
And there's certain ways to go about things, but yeah, I didn't find out till pretty late. Especially if, that I was going to be the one. But yeah, it is what it is. They've got to make decisions to where they see their future, and that wasn't me there. And I've fully come to terms with it now. And like I said before, I'm so content with where I am now. But I don't think I've ever been more hungry to.
You watch him go win the Sandover this year.
Prove someone.
Well, mate, he's
wrong.
on the podcast. What can you want?
yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be here if otherwise, but I'm so hungry for to be back on an AFL list, and I suppose I wouldn't say I'd be doing it to prove people wrong, because I want to do it for myself and my family, and whoever picks me up. But I just feel like I've got so much left to offer. Like I know I haven't hit anywhere near what I wanted to.
Yep.
And I'm hoping that this year with that goes without saying, I'm at a great club now, West Perth.
Well, that was where I was going to lead next. Did that impact your decision where to play then this year? No, like did that have an impact of knowing that you could possibly get picked up again, and that's what you want to happen? Did that have an impact on where you want to go?
Not at all. No. So I met with Claremont and West Perth, out of respect to obviously Claremont. They were my club that I got drafted out of. Still had really good relationships there with Kepler Bradley and Darcy Coffey, who I caught up with, and it's like, I hadn't seen him in a couple of years, but always still made contact. But Darren Harris was my coach at Claremont, and he's so big on relationships and just people first. And I just said, and so was Leon, and that's where I felt I best played my footy, and that's where I was my happiest.
Yep.
And I think they just correlate so well. And I just, me and Harry caught up, and I remember it was about an hour chat, and we didn't even talk about footy. It was just about life, how we're both going, the club, West Perth itself, and it was kind of the feeling I got when Giants came and spoke to us, and I just said, I think this is the club I want to be at.
Watch out this year, eh?
Well, the Premiers last year, weren't they?
West Perth?
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go, back to back.
Is Hutch playing this year?
Yeah.
He is?
Yep. He just got back from the Aussie Open, the great man. So he's back into full swing last week. Watch the Joker get up.
Yeah,
With
the
the
Joker.
Djokovic, that is. Sorry, not him.
with a torn hammy.
Yeah, they reckon 3 centimetre tear.
Yeah,
Fucking
I
as
call,
if.
I call bullshit.
But what have you learnt from the AFL system that's going to help you with your PT programs?
Yeah, so biggest learnings for me, probably the person that I walked in, even when I moved down to Claremont, is a completely different person to who I am now, I'd say. And a lot of people back home would probably think that as well. And not that I thought I was a bad person, but I probably didn't value relationships, how much impact you can have on people by the way you interact with them.
Yep.
And just probably person first over, I don't know if you know Ben Crow. He's does a lot of work with like athletes, does a lot of work with Travis Boak.
Okay.
Ash Barty.
Oh, yeah.
Who's her kind of like mindset coach.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just being a person over athlete, and And yeah, I'd say that that's probably the biggest one. Just if I can leave an impact on people and have relationships with people first, then that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And if I can help them in any way, then that's my goal.
Yep.
And that's what I really want to take in now and going forward as a, hopefully as a leader of, West Perth.
Yep.
I'd love to become, I was in a leadership group there with what I'm doing with my coaching and personal training, just someone that people can, and not that I want people to look up to me, but just someone that people feel comfortable listening to, guiding them through their journey and ear, probably more so. So yeah, that's probably the biggest learning, is just being someone that people, can relate to and stuff like that.
I think it's good though. Like, you don't want to, as a client, I wouldn't want to sort of be on a program and then speak to someone once every 3 months. You know what I mean? It'd just be like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You sort of want to be interactive, and so that's good.
And try and lead by example and be like, I'm not going to tell you to do something and then not do it myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if it's, I don't know, say if you had a coach that was, size of a house, or just, I shouldn't say size of a house, but like just smoked flat out, drank every day, but then was like, oh mate, I need you to eat this and run like this.
False advertising.
Yeah, it's just like, well, practice what you preach kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. Well, going with that, what's your favourite cheat meal?
Ooh. So I'm a burger man.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got a message from Josh Rotham the other day. He said, I think you're due for a burger. Boys know Saturday nights. Normally after a game, big burger or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, love it.
Nice. Favourite spot in Perth?
Ooh. I've been to a few.
Has to be Hungry Jack's, your old sponsor.
Yeah.
If you asked him 6 months ago, you have to say that.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever been to Big Rigs down in Freo.
I haven't, but I've heard good things about it.
We'll have to pop in there now.
Mate, the size of these things.
When's Doss's cheat day?
No days, 12 weeks, mate.
No cheat day?
Nah, I will.
I'll come with you. Let's do a cheat meal burger Saturday.
Yeah.
And we'll all go down and get it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, keen.
We'll get a couple of weeks under the belt and then we'll go.
I just see some abs popping out.
Yeah. They're there, they're just hidden.
Should have the ab swing like I did in year 9.
Do you remember them things?
Got sucked into the ad on TV.
Right, I had 2 of them.
What, double the abs?
Nah, they had like the first like little
big
normal
pro.
one, and then
A
they had
big pro.
then they had the big one with the fucking big round handle over the top.
What was the one where you sat on and you're nearly upright?
Yeah, you like pivot
on that red seat. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one, the original ab swing. Best marketing ever.
Yeah. Matey killing, I reckon they did.
Oh, absolutely.
Should come up with one.
Just bring it back, hey.
Ab King 2.0.
Yeah. The ab king instead of ab swing.
Oh yeah, this is the question I've been waiting to ask. I'm a massive AFL fantasy fanatic. Question for you is, do you play it, or did any of the guys at footy play it? And do you think it impacted their game at all? Did they think about it?
Oh.
Because
Who's he going to stitch up?
I think it has to.
How far we go into this? So this year we did like the AFL draft.
Yep.
I'll get around the fantasy. I hadn't played it for a few years.
Yeah.
But I was a massive footy head growing up and probably lost it for a couple of years there, where you just constantly footy. But I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but he actually wasn't in our fantasy team. But I remember this year when I was injured, we were all up in the box, and we were sitting up there. I think we were playing the Dogs, and Paddy Naish.
Oh wait,
I think it was Paddy Naish, or was it Xavier O'Neill? Got up, and we're getting flogged by the Dogs, and Bont's got another mark in front of goal. He's getting up cheering because he's got him in his fantasy team. We're going, mate. He's going, come on.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, the boys get into it. And I think who was it? Petruccelli. I think Xavier O'Neill was tagging Took Miller. I think Petchy took Miller as his captain.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
Because they get
That's funny.
I'm not sure if you listen to the AFL Fantasy podcast, but the biggest one, the traders, they have is it Harry Edwards on there.
Yes.
He loves it, and he is really, really, really good at it too. We're trying to explain to Jake on Wednesday what the hat means. If you finish within the top 100, you win a hat, and it's something that people who play AFL fantasy sort of strive for.
Yeah.
I think Harry's got one, or he might have.
He went really close.
Or yeah, he was on the podcast on the traders last year, and he was super close. So I'm not sure if he ended up getting it or not, but
Because he was on track this year at one point and then had one bad week and just fucking...
I was on track and I blew it.
Oh.
I was 77th up near just before the buys, and then I lost it. But I've got better every year, so hopefully this is the year I do it.
Who done you?
There was a few like Zorko got done, Aaron Hall got dropped. Oh, the list goes on, but you need it. You need everything to go your way in fantasy.
No, you do.
You literally, it's luck. It's not so much skill, but there's heaps.
But even like
I think it will.
the skill though is where, as you said, it's the timing of the trades, that kind of stuff where you
Yeah.
know when to trade, not just...
But you've got to pick the players who are going to break out this year. So last season it was Andrew Brayshaw. No one expected him to go absolute bonkers, and everyone's starting Matt Rao, and he started really quiet. So you just need to pick it like perfectly, basically.
Who do you think's who's your pick for this year?
To break out.
Yeah.
See, I don't like taking the risks and trying to pick the breakout. I go with more the safer guys who I think had a quiet year last year.
That ain't going to get you a hat, mate.
Who can come back?
Tom Green.
Playing it safe.
Well, Tom
Green.
Green was the favourite of mine. He's my favourite giant, I reckon. But if I had to pick a breakout this year, I'll probably go with Caleb Sarong.
Yep. Good kid, good player.
Interesting.
He can play a...
Tommy Green, though, I tend to agree.
He's a big boy.
Yep. Massive.
Do you know, I listened to a podcast and
He'll win a Brown, though.
do you reckon he will? They were joking that Tom Green is Xavier Ellis's long-lost son.
A lot better rig, but
Tom Green?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of big boy, who was the biggest in the gym? Both clubs. Biggest beast in the gym.
Oh.
Can we guess first?
Yep.
Well, it has to be Mummy, eh?
no.
Eagle Shannon Hearn?
Did none.
Really?
He's just... in terms of, like...
McGovern did none either.
I didn't agree with you when you said Shannon.
I just thought this bloke's massive. He has it. He must
In
smash
terms
it.
of strength, yeah, like he could have 6 months off, 6 month off, and then still lift 150 kilo bench. So like, so strong, like, yeah, ridiculously like country strong.
His legs are massive, eh?
You-
What you see on TV and that.
He'll have to have special shorts, I reckon.
yeah,
Eddie Betts' shorts.
yeah. But yeah, like he wouldn't have to gym much at all.
Doesn't surprise me. He's a big unit.
McGovern would be the same,
Does
wouldn't
he
he?
like-
No
does-
gym?
Yeah, pretty similar. Like they'd still go. And
Gavin's
work.
like that skinny fat. You know, he's not shredded.
McGovern does not look fit every time I see him.
Yeah, maybe it's just body type.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised. Like some of these boys surprise you, hey, like how fast they are as well.
Yeah.
Like Gov, like people ask you who's the fastest at West Coast. Like Petch is an obvious one. Like Petruccelli.
Yeah, because he
Then
weighs
like-
45 kilos.
Yeah, yeah. But then like Gov, TB, and Nick are probably in the top 5.
Oh, he
Top
would have
speed.
been my second choice for Beast.
Barras?
Yeah.
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 He is a big boy.
Yeah, very strong.
Who at the Giants was the Beast then?
Oh,
I know who it wasn't.
Lockie Whitfield.
Lockie Whitfield.
yeah. No, it wasn't Lockie.
He might have got the quickest.
Oh, he's probably the fittest. Yeah.
Dixie loves making fun of his arm size.
Yeah, oh,
It hasn't changed
No,
since
I've
he got
got a bit.
drafted.
I do have a bit of a grudge against Lockie Whitfield because he's screwed me so many times over in fantasy by getting injured.
yeah.
And I just think if you're a bit bigger, mate, you wouldn't have all these injuries.
Oh, his running ability though, like he's probably the best runner I've trained against.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Like so, out beast on the field, his running, wow.
Mm.
In the gym, you'd be surprised about Jezza. Same thing. Like he'd walk around chewing his gums off the whole time, with about 10 chewies in his mouth and like laughing. But if you'd do like, because I was like right into it.
Yeah.
And you'd be doing like dumbbells and he'd just grab them and just smash them out. Wouldn't like do much of them. Still like very professional, but knew what was good for him.
Yeah.
But blokes like Lockie Keefe, you know Lockie Keefe?
Yeah.
Jake was saying before.
Yeah.
I told you, he's a big boy.
Beast in the gym.
That's because he was doing drugs, remember?
Dylan Shield.
Allegedly. Yeah, Jill Shield. Yeah.
Dylan Shield, yep. Very
He's in
strong.
good shape this year.
He is in very good shape. I just wish he was in shape on the field as much as he was at the Giants. He sort of came over as such a big recruit and hasn't sort of hit that spot.
I think he will. I think he will.
Fucking hope so.
He's so fast as well and powerful.
Explosive.
I remember I got a photo with him in Bali in a cafe one morning. It was
Yeah, I
the
remember
off season he got traded.
Yeah.
So I was like, fucking perfect. And I was like, he is a fucking big boy.
Huge.
And he looks even bigger now.
Solid.
Yeah, he's got muscles on muscles, that bloke.
Fuck, it'd be nice.
Stick to the program, mate. Stick to the program.
We'll get you there.
We'll check in again in 11 weeks.
Just send him a photo of Dylan Shield every morning.
Yeah.
That's all the motivation he needs.
Put it up on the back. Put it up on the back wall. But nah, like I said before, when they draft so many young kids, a lot of boys are very good, like in the gym. So it's very competitive in that way.
I've got some fan questions here.
Really?
Yeah. This one's come in. Do you think Shuey should have retained captaincy, or who do you think should have got it?
Yeah. No, I think he's a man for the job right now. Yep. No, definitely. If he can stay out there, like he's just had a bad run with his hammies.
Yeah.
But if there's a guy that gets around the young, the old, the middle kind of group, it's him.
Is he a big vocal guy on the field?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't say overs, but says what
more
needs to
action.
be said. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely action.
Yeah.
Like when you know he's out there when you're playing him.
Yeah.
So yeah, off field, great. And like I said, he's a really good link between the older and younger boys. And
Yeah.
he's definitely the man for the job for me.
Remember Ginger Nightclub?
Yeah.
I used to see him coming out Ginger Nightclub with two birds all the time, obviously when he was single. Just straight into a taxi and I'd just be like, oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Okay, on that note then, the captain, who do you think will be the next captain of the Eagles then?
Ooh.
Whether it's next year, whether it's 2 years, whether it's whatever.
Yeah, I think we'll...
Like young guy that you think will be the next sort of
Young guy?
long-term captain.
Yeah, it's a hard one. So if Buddha, so Shuey was to hang him up, it'd probably, I would say either TB or Gov. But if Buddha stays another couple of years, I reckon maybe Aussie Allen.
Yeah, that was my first question. Is he in the talking point?
Yeah, he's like natural born leader. Obviously unfortunate this year with injuries, but yeah, natural born leader. Same thing. You listen when he speaks, and he's got a good footy head.
Talented as well, eh? When he's fit. Oof.
Yeah, no,
Favourite goal or AFL moment so far?
Favourite goal or AFL moment?
Has to be
I love that you
Getting-
said so far. Dream's
Yes.
still alive.
So far?
getting Dusty holding the ball.
There's a photo in the man cave.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be. I don't know if you remember the semi. Do you remember the semi against the Pies?
For
Fun.
all the
Is it the one that you guys won
No, you just won that.
to get us into what year? Sorry, in 18.
Yeah, it was 18, yeah.
Fuck, I don't know.
Quick, chuck it on the TV.
maybe the goal that game.
Okay.
That was one of in front of 80,000.
What we'll do is we'll find that clip and chuck it in.
Yeah.
This.
put it on
So
the
then
background.
people know the reference.
Yeah.
But I still say to this day, my favourite game was Adelaide. My first year,
Yeah.
played Adelaide down in in Adelaide, and we're going really well. Good start to the year, and we had like 4 or 5 games in a row we lost, and we're doing these doom sessions in Shelley Beach, which is like probably an hour away from me. We're meeting there at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and it was freezing, and the boys are emotional, like, because it gets to you, like, you're in this club and you're losing when you should be had all this expectation. And we went down there. It was probably my best game. Like, kicked a couple, and everyone just afterwards, it was just like a party.
Is Adelaide Oval as really as good as everyone speaks about it? I've heard so many. I want to get there. I'm hoping to get there this year. We've got friends that are living over there now. But they say to watch, probably different for a player maybe, but to watch footy and cricket there, they reckon it's just about the best in Australia.
Yeah, it's awesome. Even playing on it, it's the nicest grass.
Yeah.
Like,
What was it like playing at Optus?
good. Same thing, like the lights.
Yeah.
It's more so the lights
So
and
this
the
man
atmosphere.
controls.
I'm actually working tonight at the Big Bash, just on standby. That's Sparky.
I'm there as well.
Oh, yeah?
Not
I'm,
working, obviously.
Yeah, not working. having a few beers. No, yeah,
Getting the boys doing stretches
we've
down
got
there.
we got the maintenance contract there because we did the build there, so we just got to have a Sparky on standby for game day, and it's just cruisy. You get sort of watch the game wherever you want, and done a few footy games this year, so it's easy money.
Get a good spot.
Yeah, you can. I've got access to everywhere, so you can. I sort of stand where the security guards stand at the race
Oh, yeah.
for the Big Bash, and then you just wait for the radio to go off for a breaker that's tripped, or it's free money. The last 2 games I did, 8 hours all up, not one job.
Jesus.
So it's free money.
That's the life, eh? Second to AFL.
I was going to say second to the players out there.
Who inspired you growing up? Or who'd you draw inspiration from?
Like athletes or
Both.
could be anything.
Yeah.
My brothers were always my biggest role models.
Yep.
My oldest brothers. All I wanted to do was impress them. They're both older than me. Would always be on the driveway. If I didn't hit them directly in the chest, it'd be 10 push-ups. So from a very young age, this is how, you had to hit everything. So
Yeah.
them two have always been my biggest role models. And after every game, good or bad, it'd probably be them and, my dad's opinions that mattered probably the most.
Yeah.
But I was a massive, massive Saints fan growing up.
Okay.
So, loved a lot of those boys. Being my older brother, his favourite player was Lenny Hayes.
Yep.
Good player.
Love Snyder.
Yep.
Stevie Milne. Yeah, all these boys.
The G Train.
G-Train.
Crazy Garrett.
So, first day I walked into the Giants. First bloke I walked into, Lenny Hayes, and I was just
Starstruck.
almost fainted.
Like, shit. This last thing we'll probably talk about is like what you're going to be doing in your future, like what your aspirations are and stuff like that.
Playing AFL.
Yeah, well,
You can shout out your PT program and stuff like that.
so obviously at the moment it's getting back into the AFL. Oh, sorry, and I'll say playing for West Perth.
Yep.
And, trying to add as much as I can to there for us to win a flag this year and just being a part of that club.
Yep.
But, I'd be lying if I said I want another crack at the highest level. I want that so bad, and I want to obviously get back there because I know how much I feel like I've got to offer in that space. But right now I'm doing a lot of work with at Athletic Institute.
Yep.
So it's a gym up in Wangara. The coach there, or the owner there, I've trained with for the last 2 years, and just an absolute king. Knows so much knowledge in terms of strength work, working with athletes, general population.
Yep.
programs and everything like that. So I'm doing a lot of work with him with a lot of my own clients, and
Yep.
then got my online stuff as well now. Through ZLF or Zac Langdon Fitness.
Yep.
Pretty original
So
name.
where do people find you? So just get in touch on the socials or?
Yeah, so if you jump on Instagram, just
Yep.
my page, just my normal account, so Zac
Yep.
Langdon _.
Yep.
So jump on there, get in touch, either DM or jump on the link there for all online programming. Little shout out.
And get your body in shape
Yes.
with
Yes.
Zac.
And for anyone, like I've had people reach out and be like, oh, is this only for athletes or only for running? Or is it
Definitely
only for
not.
strength.
Because I'm no fucking athlete.
Yeah, dust, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know about that. But no, it's honestly for anyone.
Seen him kick a footy?
Yeah, can you kick him?
Nah, no good. This is the footy. He's still playing.
We used to play. You still play?
We all used to play, yeah. I'll keep playing until I can't run anymore.
Very good. Yeah, so any skill level, any experience level,
Yep.
jump on.
And getting back into our AFL list, not setting your sights on anywhere particular, like you'd play anywhere pretty much, just to get back on one?
Yeah, I
Or
think
prefer to stay in WA?
obviously our family and stuff's here.
Yeah.
So, if I was to, go to, Freo here, it'd be
Yeah.
awesome. But if it was a club over east, me and Ellie have chatted about it. And now that she's, 5 years in remission, she can come
Yeah.
with me.
That's awesome.
Open to it. Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
I already know what's going to happen anyway.
There you go.
He's going to the
There's-
Dons.
Nah, there was already news that Melbourne's going to lure Liam Henry over using Cozzy Pickett.
Yeah.
So Freo will need a replacement. So you'll be at Freo next year. Just letting you know.
Ooh, hot
Hey.
take.
Here we go.
Yep.
I'll
Stars are aligning.
I'll write the date down.
Awesome. Oh, it's been a pleasure to have you on as our first big guest, mate. You may not think you're a big guest, but we put you in that regard. So, we wish you nothing but the best in your endeavours, mate. And, hopefully we see you on a list very soon.
Yeah.
And go
Thank
Falcons for this year.
Yeah, get around West Perth. But no, thank you for having me on. It's probably the first time I've chatted for a while now about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And didn't really want to speak to any media about any of it. But wish you guys nothing but the best as well. New podcast, well, out for almost a year now. You're doing great things.
Yep.
And
We'll link up with you for a burger, and we'll keep in touch while you get DOS some abs.
Maybe I'll just have a watch of you eating burgers.
I imagine that.
Nah.
Yeah, your
we-
PT
we
takes
I'll
you
be-
out,
I'll be-
out
I'll be
for burgers,
telling him
then
to-
he says that you can't have one.
yeah,
Yeah, true.
with the lettuce buns for him.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate your honesty with everything as well. It's you don't often get real honest people, so it's good.
And also great to hear about your wife, mate. All good now, so it's one of the main things anyway.
Yeah, certainly is. Health first, health
That's
and
it.
happiness.
Things in life bigger than footy, eh?
Yep, 100%. Anyway, guys, we will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you like the podcast. See you next week.